You see, imperialism, Brock, is a threat, and the war in Iraq has reasons for being imperialist. You see, though you see it as some kind of a grand war in a crusade against, freedom and all that, well, the Muslim people, and conservative Muslims in particular, view it as some kind of, this big, powerful foreign state that's going to come into a country and, impose this grand plan that is contrary to the values they most deeply hold. And you see, the real war here is between, the intolerant conservatives and the Muslims, not the tolerant liberals who are like, okay, Muslim, you can just go do your own thing. We don't care because we're tolerant. No, we're talking about intolerant Christian conservatives who view the Muslims as basically stupid towelheads, right? And Brock, do I sense you making an argument for censorship in this video on the grounds that it supports that it's good for the family? Well, what family, Brock? Are you talking about the 50s family in Brockland? Or, because that's a thing in the past and a thing of your mind. And the situations have changed since then. We have all kinds of different people and families from all different backgrounds. So the same whole keep it clean, hide it under the rug, suburban mob model simply doesn't work. And also, I don't think the government, or conservative people like you, for that matter, should tell me how to raise my children, okay? Because, and also, I also think that, real war and real things out in life, like Darfur and stuff, are far worse than what one can find on reality TV. But as for liberals and family, I find it a bit offensive that you seem to think that, I don't care about family. Because I do care about my family, obviously. I haven't really come across a person who doesn't. And so, if you wanted to find liberals who care about your family, I bet all you have to do is really look, which of course you don't. Because you don't want to find people who think differently than you, who are like, share feelings that you have. No, you want to dehumanize them, basically. But, you see, the reason why I actually think that I care about my family more than you care about your family, right? Because instead of trying, gather up my people and sort of, create this little cavern in the world to live in that's, perfect and away from society, I address the problems of the world, right? Now, in the hopes that maybe, if I can make the world, a better place, then it would obviously be a better place for my family, right? And it would be a lot safer for them. So, I also think that genuine happiness is better than ignorance, right? Because genuine happiness is real, whereas ignorance isn't. And problems, that you keep in your closet have an odd habit of coming back to bite you when you least expect it, as can be seen by what's happening to the United States in this day and age. But also, I think that, I'm not saying that everybody should know everything. A 5-year-old shouldn't know about the horrors of Darfur, obviously, because they can't handle it and they can't understand it because they're too young. So, with that in mind, I think that I should determine whether or not my children are ready to learn about the horrors of the world, because I am the best judge, not some, conservative. And, it isn't like the TV companies have a little chip on their children's brain where they're just funneling all this information. As a parent, you can dictate what your children watch, and it's your right to dictate what your children watch. But when the government or people like you step in and say that I'm immoral because I, let my children watch different things than your children, then that's what I have a problem with. Because you're judging me, where you don't really know me or my children, and well, actually, I don't really have any children, but this is all hypothetical, okay? But anyways, about this whole thing, you're glorifying divisions and alienation, and that I have a problem with, because, well, divisions and alienation only create hate, war, and death. And they don't really even exist, because we're all human, whether or not you live in Europe, and whether or not, you live in America, or you're a Christian, or a Muslim, or an atheist, right? We're all human. We all feel the same things. We go through similar experiences. So to demonize the other side is not only being ignorant, it's lying, basically. And you're lying to yourself that, a European doesn't care about their family. That's ridiculous. Have you even taught any Europeans? They do have family values, and I think if you went outside of your little bubble in Brockland, and you went out to the real world, and you maybe even took a trip to a place outside America, and you saw how the people act, you'd find that we're not so different, and that even a place that's supposedly godless, like Europe, actually holds similar values to that a place like the United States does. And you shouldn't try to block off these connections, because, we should, as a species, we all share the same planet, right? And the actions of one state affect the actions of the other. So obviously, wouldn't it be better if we all, work together, to create to make our world, not like this, but like something perhaps a bit better? Obviously, utopia is obviously, impossible. But, if everybody just tried a bit harder, then maybe we could, get a better result than we currently have. And nobody likes the world as it is. Nobody likes hearing about, Darfur and places like that, whether you're liberal or conservative. You'd have to be utterly, an emotionless shell to not feel things about stuff like that. So, we aren't that different, Brock.